Hi, this is John Lien from TaxSaleList.com. Thanks for joining us. A lot of people think that all the properties on a tax sale must be really awful properties, and I wanted to show you some properties, all of which were offered at a tax sale, so you can see what is actually available on tax sales. There are properties that are awful, but there are far more properties that are quite nice and have the potential to be absolute home runs. We're going to go through a bunch of those quickly so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. Most of the tax sale gurus can't show you many pictures, as most of them haven't actually done more than 1 or 2 tax sales, if that. We, on the other hand, have over 1 million pictures of tax sale properties we've acquired over the years, but that's because we've been responsible for the acquisition of over 77,000 tax sale properties. The properties we're going to look at have liens that vary from a low of $125 to as high as $16,793. Property values range from as little as $22,000 to well over $3 million. I think you're going to find this is really interesting. Let's get started. As we go through these, you will note there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason for the amount of the tax lien. You'll see a really great property with a low-cost lien and maybe a lower value property with a higher cost lien. This is due to a couple of factors. First, these properties come from about 8 different tax sales in 6 different states, so their tax rates vary according to the state. Some states have quite low property taxes, and others have quite high property taxes. Second, some states allow partial payment of property taxes, while other states do not. So you could have a lien of $600 that is just part of the $3,600 tax bill, but the other $3,000 was paid, and it's only the final $600 that is delinquent. Most tax sale properties, especially houses, will redeem. What that means is that you'll get the amount you paid back plus a very attractive interest rate. The interest rate can run as high as 30% or more, which is a lot better than you'll get from your savings account. About 95% of single-family residential properties will redeem, and all you'll make is that high interest rate on your money. But the other 5% will not redeem, and those properties you'll be able to actually get the property for a very attractive price, often less than 10% of market value. Most states have redemption periods of less than 2 years. That's the time the delinquent property owner has to pay you back before he loses his property. Most people think they always have to wait 2 or 3 years to get their money back when the property redeems. But the truth is that about 50% of all tax liens redeem within 6 months or so. Please keep in mind that if the lien does not redeem, that the lien amount is not the total cost you would pay to get these properties. If they have not paid back the money they owe you, then you'll have some additional expenses you'll incur before you can get the property. You'll have to bring the taxes current. You've already paid 1 year's taxes. You did that at the sale. But you may have to pay that amount for another year or 2, depending on the redemption period. So if you paid $1,000 for the original lien, you might have a total investment of $3,000 before you get title to the property. The original taxes, the taxes at the end of the first year, and the taxes at the end of the second year, assuming a 2-year redemption period. In addition, you'll have the expense for title search, and if you're actually going to get the property, some legal expenses, which can vary from a few $100s to as much as $3,500 or more, depending on the state and the lawyer you use. That means your $1,000 original investment has grown to as much as $7,000 by the time you get the property. But ask yourself this question: is there any property you've seen in these photos you wouldn't pay $7,000 for? Properly done, tax sales are a win-win proposition. The worst case is you make between 10 and 30% on your money, and the best case is you make 250% to 800% when you actually get a property. There are very few investments that can offer those results without a much larger risk than you'll have with tax sales when you properly do them. And what we like to do is teach you how to properly do them. If you'd like to learn more, go to our site, www.taxsalelist.com, and sign up for our free workshop, An Introduction to Tax Sales. This is a 1-hour, no-hype discussion of tax sales, which will give you a lot more information and facts about this fascinating business. See you there, and thanks for viewing this video. Send it to a friend so they can learn about tax sales too.